LeBron has broken the all-time record, but Kyrie Irving has broken the Lakers' heart. What a monumental week in basketball. Hello and welcome to Fox Sports Lab NBA. I'm your host, Ben Dixon, as always, the NBA expert, and the man now that's matching the colour of his beard and the colour of his shirts, Jaymz Clements. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Dicko. I'm like a donut down a hill. I'm ready to roll. Let's go.
You are ready to roll. Coming up, LeBron's place in history, the life of Kyrie, Dallas's new Maverick, and guess what? Our man from Miami, Carlos Boozer, will tell us who he thinks is the sixth man of the year. LeBron James now holds the all-time scoring record in the NBA, overtaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. James, before we get into this, unbelievable scenes. 10 seconds to go in the third. The game stops. Everyone runs on the courts. Phone, mayhem. What did you make of it?
It was absolutely awesome, wasn't it, Dicko? It's a huge moment for a momentous occasion. You love to see that, especially for a league like the NBA that doesn't really have like all-time stats that people sort of celebrate to that degree. It was awesome, and it was really cool to everyone with their phones. That's a bit of water cooler material. But the way he shot that, I love this because it was a step-back jumper. That's the old sort of weakness of his game. He breaks the all-time scoring record with something that he's worked on. It just speaks to his evolution as a player. It was huge. Loved it.
And you know what I love? Being in commentary, the commentator had his moment too, because that moment's going to get played, and he said, LeBron, shot at history, like he just embraced it himself. But playing for so long, 38 years of age, breaks a record. We could say he's a legend, but everyone's now saying, is he the greatest of all time? Do you agree?
It's a great argument, isn't it? Because he's broken the all-time scoring record. The thing is, Dicko, nah.
Oh, no.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the scoring record for 40-odd years, and he wasn't the GOAT, because as long as Michael Jordan was there, MJ came in, laid waste to the league, became the biggest superstar in the world, won his 6 titles. Look, Kareem had 6 titles, 6 MVPs as well, but I think we're all pretty much in agreement that MJ was the GOAT. LeBron breaks the all-time record. Kareem wasn't the GOAT. We already had MJ, so I'm still leading with MJ. But the part of this is the simple fact that he's been doing this for 20 years. Yeah. At such a high level. I think what will happen in the end is that we'll come to a sort of happy agreement. Top 2 all time, LeBron, MJ. You could probably say that MJ is the greatest winner in the history of the NBA. LeBron might have had the all-time greatest all-round career. And we'll sort of hit some sort of middle points between that. But to be honest, like, to be even in that conversation with Michael Jordan is more incredible than the fact that I had a girlfriend in year 12. Like, amazing.
It's amazing how you can draw the parallel. So many facets to the Kyrie Irving trade. Dallas gets its man, the Nets are left short, and the Lakers miss out. Where do you sit, James? Should Kyrie have chosen a reunion with LeBron?
He tried to, I think. I think the Nets went, right, we actually sort of value a little bit more competitiveness right now. We'll get Spencer Dinwiddie, we'll get Dorian Finney-Smith, we'll get a pick down the road, we'll send Kyrie to Dallas. And for a man who loves doing his research, Dicko, the best thing to come out of this is we'll probably find out who killed JFK. It's Kyrie. He's going to dig into it and do his own research. You'll love that. But seriously, the Nets just took current good players, keep themselves competitive now. I think it's a bit of a win-win for both teams because Dallas rolled the dice. The Nets get a little bit more, I don't know, responsibility, respectability, a bit more of an even keel rather than Kyrie Irving who could sink your ship at any moment. So, but it's fascinating, to be honest. Like, you had a 27-point game scorer, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. You put him next to a ball-dominant wing like Luka, Doncic. I love this move because you now have another ball handler. Kyrie's won a title next to a huge, big, ball-dominant wing before. LeBron James in 2016. That's how they sort of worked off each other. I don't know how you stop this 2-man game between Luka and Kyrie. I'm fascinated to see how it goes because it basically raises their roof to the stratosphere offensively. It's going to be incredible to see Luka and Kyrie go at it, but the floor's lava. You fall into that, Kyrie could just burn the place down. He's got 3 months, who knows what could happen. But I just love the idea of like Luka driving, he's doubled, kicks it to Kyrie, boom, 3, off you go. The options are endless on offense. Defensively, I'm a little bit more worried.
What about your JFK reference? The grassy knoll, you just solved the problems. All right, now, should we be jumping on the Mavericks to go deep in the playoffs, and where does it leave the Lakers?
I love this for the Mavs now. I think their offense absolutely skyrockets. They're not great in terms of points per game at the moment. I think that changes dramatically. And does it change their sort of options going into the playoffs? Definitely. This is a team that can now make a Western Conference Finals. It can make a Finals. The Lakers, look, they're going to make some trade deadline moves. We know that. They just sort of hinge on AD. If Anthony Davis can be who he was, that sort of stretch between November and December when they went, I think, 8-4, and he was averaging basically 33 and 12, They can make the playoffs. They could make it all the way to fourth. But Dallas, I absolutely love that they've rolled the dice, went chips in, let's see what happens. Off we go, Kyrie and Luka. Fireworks.
Well, that's the game we're in, chips in. But I reckon we'll be talking about this Kyrie trade for weeks to come. But don't go anywhere, because our man Carlos Boozer is up next.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
Is the sixth Man of the Year award a two-horse race? Well, we're going to find out shortly as we welcome back our man Carlos Boozer to find out. Welcome, Carlos.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's great to have you back. Now, can you split Malcolm Brogdon and Russell Westbrook as the two players packing the biggest punch off the bench?
Yeah, they're both having great seasons. My slight edge goes to Russell Westbrook. I mean, this guy was an MVP of the league one time. Most guys have a hard time getting told, hey, listen, at this stage in your career, you got to go to the bench. He's embraced it with open arms. He's having a phenomenal season, giving them a huge pack off the bench. Had triple-doubles in a lot of the games that he's played off the bench. My nod goes to Russell Westbrook.
Are you sticking with Carlos with Westbrook, or are you leaning towards Brogdon?
I'm going to go with Brogdon there, Dicko. I think Brogdon has contributed more to winning. I think that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Like, Carlos is talking about Russell. He's accepted the role as a sixth man. The problem is, the Lakers still stink. Whereas Brogdon heads to Boston, looks awesome, and is putting up pretty great numbers, right? Like 14, 4, and 3 for our man Malcolm. And but he's actually contributing to winning. And I think that's probably going to be the one that probably gives him the edge in the end, because Boston are the best team in the NBA. The Lakers are in, not even in the playoff picture just yet in the West. So I'm probably going to give the edge to Brogdon.
Now, Carlos had a big chuckle when you went, the Lakers stink. All right, now, Carlos, is Norman Powell the best value and the likely challenger to the top two? He's playing some really strong minutes at the death.
He's doing a great job. And he had a great poster the other day when he dunked. I can't remember who he dunked on, but it was a great play. Now, Powell's been one of the better guys in the league for a long time. One of the better six-man. I mean, he was in Toronto playing great defense, knocking down shots, had a good playoff run. He's definitely doing his job, and I think his stock has gone through the roof.
What do you think, Norman Powell? Carlos is saying his stocks have gone through the roof.
I love it, Storm and Norman. He actually sort of fits this idea of the six man perfectly, right? He comes in, he's the absolute gunner. Like, you want to assist numbers, you're not getting it from Norman Powell. He's shooting it every time, which is like the actual mold of the six man and the six man award, right? Like, that's the Jam and Jamal Crawford vibes. That's Lou Williams. It's these guys. Norman Powell probably fits that better than Brogdon and Westbrook even. So, to be honest, I think if the Clippers have a really good last third of this season, you'll see Norm just absolutely skyrocket, and you better buy those stocks, I reckon, if Carlos is selling it. So off we go.
I'll buy anything that Carlos is selling. Don't worry about that. All right, now, James, Tyrese Maxey is the third pick, but is he too short given that he's only come off the bench 10 times through 50 games?
Well, I mean, he is pretty short, Dicko. That's, it's not his fault. Come on, mate. But the vibe is Maxey's probably the best scorer of this bunch. He absolutely lights it up. The thing is, he's started probably too many times to actually win this award. But the thing is, he is so talented. Had he has started the season, like coming off the bench, not playing next to James Harden, they tried to make that fit work. It very clearly defensively was like a little bit of a letdown. Now you let Maxey come off the bench, run that secondary sort of unit for the Sixers, and he's delivering. His per 36 numbers since he's come off the bench are absolutely skyrocketing. And I mean, his averages are like 18 points a game coming off the bench. He's awesome. The problem is, are voters eventually at the end of the season going to use that idea that he started too many games probably against him? Probably. I think it's going to be hard for him to crack it.
All right. Carlos, what's your thoughts on Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. To me, I think he's a starter in the NBA. I think the next team that he goes to, he'll probably be the starter. But if he's able to play like 50 games or 40 games off the bench, it just won't be enough because Russell Westbrook's played the entire season off the bench. Same thing with Mike Brogdon up in Boston. Even though I think he's probably the most pure scorer out of these two, especially at this stage. Russell Westbrook in his prime, obviously much better, but at this stage, Maxey's definitely the best scorer. The problem is he's really a starter. So I don't see him winning the award just because he's supposed to be in the starting lineup.
You guys are in sync today. I'm looking forward to this. That's our deep dive on the sixth man of the year. Next up, we get excited about a big weekend of action.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
Well, the games are top notch this weekend. Let's jump straight into it. This is the big call. Carlos, I'm going to start with you. Can Kyrie have an instant impact for the Mavs in their doubleheader against the Kings this weekend?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, Kyrie's one of the best talents that we've seen at the point guard position. Can score at will, got crazy handles. I think he was looking forward to getting out of Brooklyn, so he'll have like that fresh start mentality. You saw how much he was smiling in the press conference. I think he'll give Luka an immediate impact, somebody else that can create, score at will, also get his teammates involved. He's done that in Brooklyn, obviously, this year, putting up numbers like 27, 5, and 5. So he'll bring that and all of his talent to Dallas and make an immediate impact.
Do you think he's going to have a seamless transition?
Probably. He's that talented. Like, Carlos hit that on the head, I think. Like, it's the sheer talent of Kyrie probably makes this, like, smooths it out pretty nicely. So the tricky part is you've got a double header this weekend between the Mavs and the Kings, Dicko. I think they probably split this. I want to say the Mavs win the first one, the Kings win the second one. And I'd be looking at, I think, for the first game, I think they're going to show out pretty hard because this is a Sacramento team that scores a lot, doesn't play a giant amount of defense. But I think this will be a great showcase for that Dallas offense out of nowhere. So I'd go look at Luka for a 35-plus sort of game, 9-plus rebounds, and then look at Kyrie for at least 25 points, 5-plus assists as well. Maybe throw the Souvlaki King, Domantas Sabonis, in there as well for a good 12-plus rebounds. But I think the Mavs win that first one. And game two, I think Sacramento will turn around and win the second one. I reckon De'Aaron Fox has a massive one in that one if he's around. Sabonis again, the Souvlaki King. So maybe lean on the Souvlaki King for the second game. 15-plus points, 15-plus rebounds. Sacramento win that game too.
Carlos is loving your work today. He's giggling. The Souvlaki King, he only dropped it 3 times this time. All right, now 1 point separated the Bucks and the Clippers. In the rematch, who have you got?
That game was awesome last week, Dicko. We actually talked about it on this here show, didn't we, Carlos? It was awesome. It turns out it was basically a playoff game. Like, it basically felt like a playoff game. And the 1 point win, Giannis rips off a 54-19 game. It was essentially a remember me for the MVP. You want to talk about somebody else, but I'm still here. Giannis is like, nah, I'm still awesome. Check it out. Against Kawhi, Paul George, in LA this time, rematch should be unreal. I'd have to go the Clippers. I'd probably say Giannis still has a massive game, 35-plus points. I think that deep Clippers team locked down everybody else, though. So Giannis, 35-plus points. Kawhi, 30-plus. Clippers win it.
All right, now, Carlos, Bucks or Clippers for you?
Yeah, I think the Clippers get done at home, especially if they got all their pieces out there. You know, if Kawhi's playing, Paul George is playing, all those guys are out there competing and going at it. I think they take care of home court. But I will say, if Giannis has another 54-point night, it will go the Bucks' way.
All right, now we're going to move. The Warriors are without Steph Curry. Carlos, can they keep up their good home court form against LeBron and Anthony Davis?
No. I mean, I want to say, but no, they can't. I don't think so. I think LeBron just passing Kareem right now. He's on a super high. Anthony Davis had a subpar game. I think he bounces back huge against the Warriors. And I also think not having Steph is like one more weapon that they don't have. They've been scoring points and playing really well, but they need Steph. They need a full roster to have that kind of arsenal during the game, especially against LeBron. And these guys are trying to get in the playoff hunt. Every game is so important. So I think LeBron and AD do a good job and win this game.
What do you think? You agree with Carlos?
I do. I think Shackle's off. I think you hit the all-time record, you go, right, now, business.
Yep. Let's
make the playoffs. So I think no Steph is just a bit of a death knell for the Warriors at home, especially against a team like the Lakers. I'd see a big AD game. He's really struggled these last sort of weeks coming back from injury. I think there's a big game, though, because you've got Draymond and maybe Kevin Looney, not giant amounts else, really, to slow him down on that Warriors squad. So look for a big AD game. I think 30-plus points, 12-plus rebounds. Jordan Poole will probably step up, do the bulk of the scoring for the Warriors, 25-plus for him, but the Lakers win it.
All right, let's finish, James, with the 76ers and the Nets team minus Kyrie Irving. Who wins?
I absolutely love this. Sixers Nets. Hook this to my veins, Dicko. Let's go. This is a strange sort of mix-up, though, for the Nets. Like, we're going to probably have Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith in for the Nets in place of Kyrie Irving. But it doesn't slow down Joel Embiid at all. So I'm looking for a big Embiid game, 35-plus points, 15-plus rebounds. I reckon Dinwiddie steps up scoring-wise. Without Kevin Durant, he's going to have the ball in his hand a lot. 25-plus points for Spence. If Cam Thomas decides to share the ball. Cam Thomas is just out there dropping 40 pieces everywhere. But I like the Sixers to win by even more than 11 points, I think. That's probably my lean for this because I think the Sixers team, they've had a couple of weird wonky games this week. They'll see this Nets team that's a little small, has just made some changes, and they'll come out and put a bit of a whomping on them, Dicko.
Okay, so Carlos, he's got the 76ers touching out the Nets. Where are you leaning?
Yeah, 100% correct. I mean, even though I do know Cam Thomas is starting his march to get to 40,000 and break LeBron's record the way he's starting right now with 3 40-point games in a row, the Sixers got more. They got Maxey off the bench. They got Harden, who's probably feeling snubbed from being an all-star reserve. And they got Embiid, who's an MVP candidate. They got no size to stop Embiid. I think Philadelphia wins by 20. I think it's going to be a blowout kind of game.
All right, that was the big call. Carlos, a big thank you to you. We know you're at your son's baseball game again. We'll look forward to seeing him in the World Series shortly. Welcome.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
James, we'll keep a close eye on your games and your multis across the week. And I have to say, you are hot as a pistol. Like, as I've been following you, you haven't missed. So hopefully you can continue that form. That's us for another week. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe below and follow us on social.